Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and we are back for another Game of Thrones reaction video. And today we are up to Season 2, Episode 5, The Ghosts of Harrenhal. And once again, I am joined by my co-host, Tyler. Hey, Tyler.
How's it going? Another episode, right? After the way that last one ended, I'm ready to find out what that's all about.
Yeah, so speaking of episode 4, Garden of Bones, a lot of our characters came back for the first time in a few episodes. We saw Joffrey torturing Sansa and then torturing prostitutes, which was so fun. Then we saw Robb again for the first time as he and his direwolf took down a Lannister camp. And in the meantime, he made like googly eyes at a nurse as she chopped the guy's leg off.
Yeah, the most interesting interaction between those two.
Then we saw Daenerys for the first time in a couple of episodes as well, but hers was good news as they were allowed into Karth after she tried to threaten her way through and somebody spoke for her, cut his hand and let her in the door. Then we saw the two Baratheon brothers meeting up for the first time to discuss a possible stalemate, and it didn't go very well. Theon, it looked like he was getting turned over to his father's side last we saw him. Tyrion making some more moves this last episode. First, he saves Sansa from getting like humiliated and abused in front of everyone. Then he traps his little cousin, Lancel Lannister, by figuring out he's sleeping with Cersei, blackmailing him into reporting back on everything his sister does. So we'll see how good of a spy Lancel turns out to be for Tyrion. And finally, what Tyler alluded to in his introduction, we end off the episode with the Red Woman and Sir Davos being smuggled somewhere into this cave where the Red Woman, Melisandre, gives birth to some sort of shadow demon. I kept saying baby, but it was a full-fledged, like, grown-ass man.
Whatever that thing is, yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that, as well as all of these other little plot lines going on. See if we get some more Tywin now that he's taken Arya under his wing this episode, and see if we get anything from Winterfell or any of these other places. We have about 1 million characters all doing different things right now. So let's go ahead and get into episode 5.
Oh.
My son has no interest in the Iron Throne.
I guess we did say that we predicted that there was going to be some actual conversation between those two.
Your son can go on calling himself king in the north. I'd have better luck debating the wind.
Only the Baratheons can get along. Uh-oh. No! Shadow thing. Shadow murder.
RENLY.
Uh-oh.
I think it was her.
Oop. All right. Brienne just gonna take him out. Jesus. Jesus Christ. He's just like destroying these people. God damn. They didn't even stand a chance.
Damn Red Woman. What are you doing, girl?
Shadow assassin. What a way to kick off the episode. I mean,
you can't avenge him if you're dead.
I guess the case doesn't look as good when she just murdered everyone else, too. It looks like, from the outside, like she just massacred everyone in there and ran. R.I.P. Renly, I guess. And then I'm kind of bummed out about that. That dress. I mean, that dress is just, like, so interesting to me.
The ball.
Through his righteous face.
Yeah.
Stay here.
Tell me, Sir Loras.
Poor Loras. He lost
What do you desire most in this world?
Lost his lover, too,
Revenge.
in the process.
I want to be the queen.
Oh.
All right. Let's do it.
Schemes and plots are the same thing. They are going to attack us.
This is like such an interesting
Right there.
place to talk in private.
When did she tell you this?
Poor Lancel. I mean, he's just like screwed all around, ain't he?
Talking with the pyromancer.
Oh, Lancel, tell my friend Bron to please kill you if anything should happen to me.
Please kill me if anything should happen to Lord Tyrion.
It will be my
I need me one of those. Little fort.
I need to speak to you about what I saw in that cave. Make it clear to you there'll be no need to speak to me in this matter.
Davos gonna bring up the fact that like
And I've never known you
there's like a
from the
crazy shadow
Come to
burst near him
Tyrion.
last
All my
episode.
brother's bannermen have come to my side. Brother fornicates with sister in the bed of kings. Are we surprised when the
Everybody
fruit of
just
the
knows
incest is
this.
rotten? To the tune of a twisted demon.
He's talking about you.
Oh, Theon again. All right. See what they're up to.
What are you gonna do, Theon?
Where are we headed, Captain?
See, they don't take him very seriously.
The Stony Shore.
Stop! We yield!
Poor Theon.
On
I
your
mean,
first command.
he's really not doing too great of a job so far.
Come see me off.
Just one ship and the worst
Who
crew.
are you? Dagmar.
Doesn't listen to him.
My wife's in Lannisport. Well, then you better start riding. Go.
Tywin don't play no games.
And send her your head. If your name was on Lannister, you'd be scrubbing out pots in the cook's tent. You're a northerner, aren't you?
Uh-oh.
Good.
No, my lord. Anyone can be killed.
The tension is is through the roof here. Are those the guys that were in the cage or whatever?
Yes.
A boy becomes a girl.
Who is this
I was always
creepy
aware.
gentleman?
And I was always aware.
He's like whisper
Should let you
talking.
burn.
Speak 3 names, and the man will do the rest.
Like an interesting kind of like genie situation.
3 lives I will give you. No more, no less. A man needs a name.
I don't know his name. They call him the Tickler.
That is enough.
Tickler. Be the other name she names then. She's got 3. So that's 1, right?
One down.
Gilly'd love it, eh?
Oh god, he's still gonna be talking about her. Let it go, man. It's over. Little ghost up there. Just looking around.
Improvising.
Fist of the first men.
A horn.
1 blast is for Rangers returning. Wildlings is 2 blasts. And 3 for White Walkers. It's been 1,000 years, but... Well,
I read it in a book.
They just seem so done with Samwell.
Need to push him off the ledge.
I wouldn't put it past him at this point.
It burns so hot, it melts flesh like tallow.
Now, what will he need that for?
After our present count stands,
Tyrion is like beyond shocked.
811. Enough to burn Stannis Baratheon's fleet and armies both.
I mean, that's a lot of stuff.
Idea.
Seems kind of dangerous to have all that there.
Nope.
Aw. Little baby dragon.
Dracarys.
Oh, I guess that's supposed to be like a command. I must say that the dragon is quite adorable.
He loves you.
She's not a princess, she's a Khaleesi.
Shut that down real quick. It's a very interesting, like, wealthy place. Feels like a Game of Thrones version of, like, The Great Gatsby or something. I guess that the Thraki aren't adjusting too well to this civilization.
We'll wait until we leave.
Mother of dragons. On
Who is
behalf
this
of the warlocks
scary
of
individual?
Camelot, I welcome you. Often more than once.
Oh. Alright. This is an interesting ability. I mean, anything's on the table now. I've seen Shadow, Demon, Assassin.
One of the 13.
So,
They shall come day and night to see the wonder born into the world again. And when they see, they shall lust.
alright, mystery lady. She makes some good points. Yay! Now Catelyn gets a really cool, badass bodyguard.
Flooded the castle.
This is not a very good dream.
Drowned men were floating here. In the yard.
People
Little pouty John in the freezer.
I've used that meme before. That gif. Pouty John in the snow.
Can't just march into their midst.
You kill the white. You also let an old man beat your buddy and take your sword.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true. You got the point there.
How long has your manservant been in love with you?
Manservant?
My manservant is not in love with you.
You call him a
He's my
manservant?
advisor.
Fight Daenerys. Tell him.
Unlikely.
Stick up for poor Jorah.
What a man wants.
It's the city you bled for me. Why?
That is a good question.
I will show you why.
Something tells me his motivations are
Valyrian stone. The hardest steel.
weird.
Please marry me.
Oh, I told you. I told you it was gonna be weird.
I've already married once for love. And you thought
At least you don't need no man.
There are times when I look at you and I still can't believe you're real.
Maybe he does like her.
Now Tyler's convinced.
Maybe he does. Maybe he does. You never know. Jorah's getting shit done.
Khaleesi.
Some Gendry thirst up in here. Uh-oh. Is that the tickler dude? I think it is.
Sure is.
Oh, there he is up there.
Oh, he came through on his promise.
Yeah, good for him. He meant it. He's a man of his word. Now you gotta really choose those other two people wisely.
Maybe it wasn't so bad that she freed him out of that cage.
Yeah, I mean, all right, that was the end of the episode.
Well, there we go.
Well, I guess now that she knows that he's legit, I'm like, all right, well, now that you're legit, I guess I'll start using my other ones accordingly. My other two wishes, if you will.
This episode, we pretty much started with the big bang of the episode.
I know. I was surprised.
With R.I.P. to Renly Baratheon, Red Woman's demon baby spawn was sent to kill him in the middle of the night. And Brienne was framed for the murder.
Basically, yeah, bad timing.
Right after Renly and Catelyn pretty much came to like a good understanding. And instead, Catelyn and Brienne were running for their lives.
Yeah.
In order to escape being imprisoned for the death of Renly. And on their journey, we see that Brienne makes a pledge and pledges her sword to Lady Catelyn. In exchange, though, she says, "You have to let me kill Stannis Baratheon when the time comes for revenge for Renly." How did you feel about all that happened there with Renly and with Catelyn and Brienne?
Well, I mean, it was unfortunate because I did like Renly. At least I think he had the most like interesting plan that I appreciated. At least, so, and then the demon that looked like Stannis came and murdered him in the middle of the night. It was unfortunate, especially because, like you said, the alliances seemed to be forming quite well, and then it got screwed over. But I mean, Brienne got to kick some ass. I mean, we saw her already kicking some ass beforehand, but like we really saw her just like taking people out like easily, in this time. So. I like that, and I liked her relationship, at least so far, with Catelyn. Tyrells, I mean, who knows when we'll see the Tyrells again, because they kind of just pieced out.
So Stannis said all of Renly's bannermen, except for the Tyrells, pledged him. So they were the only ones who were like, deuce.
That's what I mean. So either stay and die or leave.
Who knows what Littlefinger was concocting there with Marjorie, as she said, "I want to be
They're up to
the
something.
Queen." Loras was just distraught and ran up out of there.
Well, yeah, because that was his actual like lover.
Yeah.
Unlike Marjorie, with Marjorie is kind of just like a surrogate stand-in lover.
Well, Tyrion this episode was on kind of an interesting little mission. First, Cersei refuses to give up the plan, says that it's the king's right to withhold information if he wants to. Little does she know that Tyrion has their cousin in his back pocket, so he just runs to him to get the info.
I just love their little hiding spot where they reveal the info. This little like cubby hole, like tent.
Well, in his little passages through the city, obviously people are in an uprising, as Tyrion told Cersei already. They're not really happy with how the country's being run and what's happening with Joffrey. Unfortunately, though, they blame Tyrion.
Yeah, what they call him, a demon monkey
The
or
little
whatever.
demon monkey controlling thing. But he finds out about wildfire and the fact that Cersei has been having these men make her wildfire on the down low. And that was the substance that the Mad King was using to burn his enemies alive. So, how did you feel about Tyrion snooping around, finding this mysterious wildfire?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I mean, Tyrion always brings a fun, witty entertainment to each episode he's in. Wheeling and dealing, just trying to get info from Lancel in his little cubby hole. I thought that was just so entertaining the way that that was framed. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what this wildfire is all about. If it's so crazy dangerous, and there's like a giant room filled to the brim with all of it. It sounds dangerous to have that all in one place. I feel like it would just be a massive catastrophic event if it all went off. But we'll see. I'm curious to see what it looks like when it's used.
Then we saw John and the Lord Commander, Samwell, and all of those folks beyond the wall. They have finally left Craster's house and are just marching north. They set up camp and find a little wildling camp not too far off with Mance Raider, who is the king beyond the wall, as he calls himself.
So many kings.
But they say they need to get rid of the scouts who would report back, otherwise Mance will take them down before they can get back to the wall. So, how did you feel about those adventures beyond the wall?
I feel like we're adventuring along with them. Every now and then we'll have like an interesting tidbit with them beyond the wall. It's going to be intriguing to see what happens later on. I think I'm more intrigued to see what's leading up, what is leading up to, because we haven't really gotten yet like what it's leading up to. But just the initial stuff that we're getting so far with John and I guess Samwell and everyone, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it ends up paying off and being like a really cool kind of battle maybe with Mance Raider. I feel like as far as like all of the main storylines, like the one with John and them has been, I don't want to say least interesting, but like like there hasn't been as much action in it. I would say a lot of the storyline with John and everyone at the wall has been a lot of just moving around, traveling.
Yeah.
They're the traveling storyline.
Well, back with Stannis, we just got the one scene with him and Sir Davos. As Davos is like, bruh, let me tell you what I saw in that cave.
You're not gonna believe this.
And Stannis just doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't care. He got what he wanted. In the process, Davos is basically like, look, these men are already saying that she controls you. She's this foreign woman with her foreign god. Don't bring her to King's Landing. And Stannis decides to take the advice and says they will set sail without Lady Melisandre.
Just gonna leave her there.
Do you think that's a good plan, a bad plan?
I don't know. I guess it's conflicting because men kind of think that she's controlling you, but she also has like crazy mystical abilities. So I feel like that would be useful, but I guess he would have Renly's army, so I guess he would be fine in that sense. He would have a lot more men, but he doesn't have magic elements. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, then we saw Arya. We'll go to her next. She had that fun little exchange with Tywin Lannister, a little bit of like battle of the wits between those two. Making things up on the fly, but Tywin is not so easy to fool, as we see right off the bat.
Yeah, you're talking about house sigils and all that stuff.
She picked the wrong house because she didn't know the sigil.
I mean, that sigil doesn't sound too intimidating. There's, everyone else has like a really cool one, like a lion, and the one that one was a salmon. A
Yeah, a
salmon?
red salmon.
You pick a salmon as your house visual after all these cool ones with wolves
Yeah.
and all these other ones?
But as she's serving him, she runs into Jaqen Hagar once again, one of the men, the most pleasant but weird speaking man in that case.
Yeah, he like whisper talks.
Yeah, and his third person speaking never talks to you directly. He kind of tells her, look, you saved 3 people, you stole 3 lives from the Red God. So you get to choose 3 lives to replace because if you take away, you have to give the Red God other lives in their place. So she names the tickler because she doesn't know his actual name. And surprise, he comes through at the end of the episode and kills
He
him.
gets to have his cool. Yeah, he dies and he just is up there just chilling, smirking down at Arya. Like, I did
Yeah.
this. I did it. There you go.
So how'd you feel about Jack and Hagar as well as Arya and Tywin?
The Tywin and Arya stuff, I mean, I thought that was interesting just because it was so filled with tension, especially because, Tywin is very smart. I think as far as the Lannisters go, him and Tyrion probably are like the most smart, especially, Tywin, I feel. And he saw right through Arya's defenses and was just making up stuff on the fly. So she kind of had to just make up other stuff on the fly. Well, like the tension was through the roof between those two, especially with the stuff she said, about anybody can be killed basically.
And then she
Just
stared him back
locked
down.
eyes, locked eyes about it. Like, ooh, yeah, that was great. And obviously the stuff with the whatever we what's his name again?
Jaqen.
Jaqen.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to remember that as long as he keeps popping up. He seems like an interesting character as well. Obviously, he's very mysterious. I guess that's why he's so cool. I guess he's a murderer, but
Assassination
he murdered the tickler
skills
guy.
there.
He's a man of his word, and he did it because that's what Arya wanted. I mean, maybe Arya should have picked someone better. We have 3. Should pick someone else.
Yeah, choose those next 2 wisely.
I don't know. I mean, like, of the people around, I feel like she'd probably want to save one of those for like Joffrey and maybe someone that's nearby, like the mountain, like someone just like ridiculous that I would like. Like I want to see him somehow fight and kill the mountain or some ridiculous person like that. If you're with my wish.
Then we did get Theon a little bit this episode, in which he says, "Oh, I have to go and deal with these little fishermen," but a guy kind of convinces him, "No, you don't. You could do whatever you want." After he gets like roasted by his sister, roasted by his crew.
Yeah, everyone basically.
But clearly he is setting sail to attack the north. Last we see him, he's getting ready to attack some place in the north, a square in the north. So how did you feel about Theon?
I'm conflicted just because like I did like him like a decent amount, and now he's kind of like turned heel, as I keep saying, because that's just like a wrestling term that I always use. He's kind of going against Rob and all of them, but I mean, he's kind of just getting stepped on all over. They obviously don't take him seriously. I mean, when you get a bad crew and the whole crew just kind of clowns on you, and then your sister clowns on you. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a very successful mission with him and as the captain. So I'm a little worried about that, I guess.
And then in the north, we get Lil Bran again, listening to everybody's problems in a meeting as the little Lord of Winterfell.
And Rickon was just there, just smashing things.
Rickon just bored out of his mind, having to sit there.
Poor guy. He finally pops back up, and he has to do this kind of crap.
But Bran then talks to Osha to try to get some more mythical advice, because last episode we saw Maester Luwin just not having any of that, telling Bran it's all nonsense, don't believe in magic. So Osha asks him for his dream, and as we know, at least one of his other dreams has come true so far. But this dream is about the ocean smashing into Winterfell. So we'll see what that might mean. How do you feel about Bran and Osha and Rickon and Hodor?
I mean, they're interesting characters. I guess that was probably my least favorite part of the episode, maybe besides the stuff with the wall, but at least they had like at least a storyline that was more interesting, I guess, in that sense, just to see like for the future part of the storyline.
Yeah.
I don't know where this is going to lead. I mean, I guess that is kind of the ambiguity of it all, the ambiguity of everything when it comes to the three-eyed raven and all of his dreams and all this stuff. It's going to be interesting to see where it leads, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know when we're going to get answers to it. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I don't know how much more I can speculate just because like I don't know when we're going to get an answer for any of these sort of things. If ever, you never really
If
know, I
ever.
guess. They could just leave it ambiguous and vague for a while. Hopefully some of his premonitions he had don't come true, especially the one with the water and there's like far away from the sea.
Yeah. Well, then our final storyline, we follow Daenerys around as she is getting accustomed to Karth after they let her in. We see the Dothraki not really blending into
Uncivilized.
culture, running around there. But she has a quick meeting with this warlock who looks pretty creepy and
Yeah, I'd say.
shows his ability to multiply himself
He's
right
like a
off the
mutant from the
bat.
X-Men or something.
Yeah, and Jorah is approached by some woman in a crazy looking mask who gives him advice on making sure to protect Daenerys and the dragons. We do see that one little black baby dragon once again, and he's starting to omit smoky fire, little puffs at least
Little
right
little
now.
baby dragon fire. Adorable.
But now he's eating, so now that he can kind of toast his food, he's eating. He's
Yeah.
not turning his head like he was before. But then Daenerys also speaks to Zaro, who reveals his intentions on letting her into the city. He wants to marry her and go with her to the Iron Throne,
No thanks.
which Jorah does not take all that kindly to. And if she does take their ship, she will forever be under their control. And he'll go get her the one ship she needs. Basically, Daenerys this episode. How did you feel about her plot line?
I thought it was a really good plot line. I kind of expected that guy to have some weird reasoning for why he wanted Daenerys in. I said in the video, like it's probably be some weird reason why. And end up, of course, he wants to marry her. Apparently, that's just like the common theme for Daenerys. Everyone just wants to marry her.
Right here.
I think it was smart of Jorah to step in and say what he had to say, even if she probably didn't like what he had to say, because I think he made some really good points about when it comes to owing these people that aren't the best people, I guess you could say. I mean, I think his plan will work out better in the long run compared to what she wanted to do initially.
He's obviously very committed, whether for love or other reasons.
I mean, it could be a mixture. I don't know.
He's very committed to her claim and her ability to lead. So he seems a
She's
little bit
getting
more
there.
trustworthy than some rando guy she just met.
I think she is getting there though when it comes to being like a better leader. Like I mean, it's a learning process. I think that so far she's doing a good job of kind of becoming that sort of big leader Khaleesi type role.
How do you feel about all these very eclectic people inside of
Oh,
Car?
oh, like the masked lady
The
and
masked lady, the
the
warlock,
scary bald man with the blue lips
got
that
like the
has like
spice trader running around here somewhere.
it's quite an interesting group of people, a very eclectic, wide range of socialites. Which reminded me of like I think I even said in the video, it reminded me of like a Game of Thrones esque Great Gatsby kind of thing going on.
Oh, just living the lush life in their little city there.
I mean, it looks like a nice place. I don't know if I would get along with a lot of the people there, but I mean,
All right. Well, we'll just go with full show predictions. Now we have one king out of the way in the battle for the throne. What are your predictions moving forward?
I guess Catelyn's gonna bring Brienne back to Rob, and I guess that's a really good soldier addition to his crew because I mean we've seen Brienne is quite formidable in battle. I mean I don't think her alone could take on Stannis's army, but at least she would have a good chance. And obviously she also doesn't like Stannis, so she would obviously help. I mean I figure they're gonna have a battle. I figure it's inevitable that Stannis is gonna take all of his men to fight Rob and his men. I don't know if it's going to happen next episode or maybe later this season, but I think it's inevitable that they're going to fight at some point. I mean, hopefully, I mean, I don't know who will win. It depends because like who I want to win and who I think will win are probably two different answers. I guess because they got to get Jamie back, I guess too, right? So Jamie's involved, but I mean, I don't know if Stannis really cares about Jamie being around. So maybe he's not looking too great for Jamie.
Maybe just still chilling in a dungeon. We haven't seen him since I think the first episode.
It's kind of crazy being so long without seeing Jamie Lannister after he was like so integral to the first season. He's just been a prisoner for this whole season, and even last season a little bit. As far as like main predictions, I guess Daenerys is going to get her ship out of there with some wear and tear, and then she's just going to go, do her thing with everybody that comes with. Maybe she'll bring some extra people along with her. Who knows?
Maybe she'll have a magical warlock on her side.
I mean, that would be cool. I mean, it'd be useful. Clearly, magic seems to be quite useful in this universe. I mean, I guess Arya's probably gonna like, okay, well now I have two other people I can think of to murder. So maybe she'll think of some extra other special person to use her other death wishes on.
All right. Well, after episode 5, who were your faves and least faves? We're halfway through the season so far in season 2.
Tyrion's still my fave. I think he's great. I think he's like the best part of the season so far for me. I think Daenerys is doing really well so far too. I think I would put Jorah and Daenerys like almost neck and neck because I think they're both developing really well. Bronn's great because he's just entertaining. Like he's just an entertaining character. Just to tag, especially him and Tyrion together.
Just roast people, just talk smack wherever he goes.
Catelyn Stark's pretty good. She hasn't been like super integral to a lot of the things going on. She's kind of just been here and there in a couple of the episodes, but I like her character a lot. As far as new characters, I think Brienne's pretty badass. Almost all of her scenes so far, her just been battling people. So, how could I not think she's cool? Robb is pretty good. I'm liking seeing him grow as a leader of the King of the North. Arya is also really good, but she hasn't really been. She's been around, but she hasn't done as much, of the stuff I've liked, and compared to season 1. But she's still a pretty good character. Least favorites, Joffrey. Joffrey's always going to be least favorite. Joffrey. Stannis is up there now, since he, used his weird witch lady to
kill his
murder
brother.
Renly.
Not even in an honorable way at all. For like a guy all about honor, it was such an unhonorable way to kill your brother.
I mean. Like that's just messed up. Like I don't like that. It's because he probably would have lost, I guess. So he had to cheat to win. I don't know. I don't want to put the Red Woman in here just because I feel like her alliances are kind of just morally, not morally. They're just kind of like more on the ambiguous side. If we're going full season, Craster was pretty bad as well. I know there are probably people I'm missing. I'm drawing a blank right now. I guess maybe the men that killed everybody last episode. Just as a whole.
All of the King's people, because they're also the ones, a lot of the same people who killed the babies in the first episode.
Yeah.
The ones who came up and
just as a
killed
whole.
the Lannister army people.
As a collective, yeah. I don't really feel like Cersei's been that bad this season, so I don't want to put her in the bad category. She hasn't been as bad yet. She's kind of just, a lot of the scenes she's had so far, it's just her just bickering with Tyrion.
Just fighting with her brother.
Yeah, she hasn't done anything too terrible this season, honestly. I put Lancel in there. I guess Lancel, most of the Greyjoys, say just as a whole.
The collective, the whole Greyjoy family.
Well, yeah, because I don't think I like any of them, to be honest. And I guess maybe the Mountain and everyone that's involved in that sector, except Tywin, because I think he's bad, but he's more strategic. He hasn't been too bad yet.
All right. Well, that was our reaction and discussion for season 2, episode 5 of Game of Thrones, The Ghosts of Harrenhal. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on all of our latest reactions. Also, make sure you subscribe and follow Tyler. So Tyler, want to let them know where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. All you gotta do on YouTube is just type in my name and you do reviews, reactions, all that jazz on my channel. And on Twitter and Instagram, it's Tyler Calvert.
Awesome. And make sure to leave your thoughts on episode 5 in the comment section down below. Were you sad to see Renly die? Were you apathetic? Let us know.
I was.
Either in the comment section or you can hit either one of us up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.